crypto asset? Which one's the best crypto asset? Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Which one's the best? 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 What's the second best?
Welcome in, Discover Crypto in the 2 p.m. afternoon live stream. We are absolutely on fire in the arena. If you guys don't know, you got to figure it out. You'll figure it out later. I'm Drew. They call me the Truth. It's because I say uncomfortable truths. And I'm here to talk about the crypto markets right now. Looking a little bouncy for Bitcoin. Not going to lie. We're looking a little bit bouncy. I've looked at some of the charts for the daily and the weekly on Bitcoin and some of the altcoins that have me excited right now. But there are headwinds. As you can see from the title, there is a warning I'm going to come to you with today as the pressures on DeFi might be mounting up as regulators are trying to come to a conclusion on how to regulate crypto here in the United States. We're also going to be looking at a seller signal for Bitcoin, and this signal is showing major weakness. We're going to take a look at that. And Trump is on a fresh tariff rebate crash out. Wake up, babe. There is so much to go over here. Love spending today with you, Crypto Chick, as well. Pete Jr. with the back shots every day. Got a lot of them. What are you? It's not Sambusho. What are you talking about? Hello, Deadwood. Hello, everybody. Morgan, everybody. And shout out to the arena. God dang, we have a lot of people tuning into the arena. Really appreciate your support on our first day live streaming on that platform. We had nearly 500 people on the morning show. Let's beat that. Let's all repost the show right now. Whatever you're doing, wherever you are in this world, be it the morning, the afternoon, or in the middle of the night, if you're degenning with greasy fingers on the other side of the planet, take a moment, like the video, and share the video out. Help me out. Let's grow this thing together. Now, let's get into it. We got a lot of ground to cover here, and I got a lot of altcoins to check out. Let's take a gander. So make sure to follow me at Druth Crypto on X. There I am. And you know where to find me on YouTube. It's Discover Crypto, Blockchain Basement, all of those things within it. Now, where Bitcoin's sitting right now, let's take a gander. And I left all of my TA from last week on. I do not change things. If they go wrong, they go wrong. And I'm wrong. But thanks, Crypto Oma. I really appreciate it. It's a huge support. You know what? You guys are cool. You know, you guys are cool. Everyone is, not everyone, not you guys, but so many people on crypto Twitter are checking out and they're just giving up. It's so pathetic. You know, these are like the boring good times to buy. Let's have a sip. Let's have a sip of some yerba mate, you know, together. Or this one's yerba madre. I don't know. It seems like the same brand or something like that. We get them by the case. Shout out Deucey. Smash your like on the way in. Deucey's out there printing his own tether like a savage. Let's get after it. What does Bitcoin look like? All right. So this is on the weekly time frames with market cipher B on the bottom end here. When it's boring is when you make moves. That's right, Deadwood. Now, what we're looking at here, we were watching the ugly downtrend of the money flow, and my hope, the hopeful romantic on me, is that we can bounce before hitting the flat line on money flow and start to move up from here. We are still riding on the double green dot, but we got to zoom in a little bit to see what the daily is looking like. And folks, we are setting up the design to print an internal green dot to the upside of the momentum wave right now. As you can see, what that means is that money flow baked out to the downside on the daily, but is now ticking back up very viciously. And within that triangle, we are actually respecting that triangle to a T. Now, this was some male astrology I rolled out last week along with DZ. DZ was the first one that brought it up to me, and literally we're respecting every ounce of this. Now, we are stuck right in the midpoint of this. More often than not, these triangle designs break to the upside. So I'm feeling good about things. I did trade this weekend, made some good money. But you know what? I'm not done. I just started to trade again. I took a whole holidays off, and now I'm back at it again. What's up, K-Jam? Don't know what you're talking about because we are live right now on the arena. So if you could be more specific. Good to see you, though, K-Jam. K-Jam, I was thinking about you. I hope all's well in Colorado, my man. You're a great community member. Hope all's well in Colorado. Now, the daily is not looking too bad, you guys. We are swooping back to the upside on the money flow. Let's zoom in a little bit, honestly. Like right in this zone, I just am considering this resistance right around $94,500 until it is broken for my trading mindset. But you know what? I think that where we're at right now is a time frame of support. I think this is a time frame of reversal. We had all of the bearish narratives last week to be able to break us down lower, closer to that production cost of Bitcoin at $74,000. And instead, we actually have decided to pump, right? We've seen a lot of buy action in this $86,000, $87,000 zone, which has been very, very buoyant for Bitcoin after the descent. Now, let's take a look at what's going on the under the hood for Bitcoin. It looks like long-term Bitcoin holder sellers are now starting to tap out. Long-term Bitcoin holder selling has slowed, with the net outflows retreating from extreme levels. Now, the sell-off on this local recent high, not even comparable to when we hit $107,000 originally on the way into these prices, previously back in May, June of 2025. And also, as you can see, in September of 2024, these inflow levels were absolutely dwarfed. So the selling side of this, pretty deep in comparison, but really more people were selling the previous all-time high being hit in March 24 than they were on these extreme all-time high levels in the 126 and down region. Very interesting things to see for me, very, very interesting things to see for me. Where I'm at is looking at this chart. I would love the idea of much cheaper Bitcoin, but I'm actively stacking. And I have let my children know all about crypto, as you can imagine, right? Like I'm definitely letting my kids know about crypto. And really it's a combination of investment into, not only Bitcoin, but the S&P 500, nuclear energy, all those different things. I am at the point where I am going to be very, very serious about explaining to my kids, hey, I'm covering the house, I'm covering the food, I'm covering your life for at least 12 years, right? 15 years, however old they are. I have 4 kids. So what I'm telling them is by the age of 18, I want you to have invested 70% of your income into the S&P 500, be it Tesla, nuclear energy, but also to Bitcoin. And I'm starting them off. I gave them each their own Arculus cold storage device, and we're getting started on how to show my children self-custody in crypto from an early age. You got to start them early, folks. You got to start them early. And I'm excited for their future. Getting them started early feels really, really good. And my daughter has been very financially savvy, and she's been very interested in not only Bitcoin and crypto. She knows that I love those things, but she's interested in how you can invest in upcoming technologies. Crypto is one of those things. Thank you for the repost, US1234. Appreciate that. But this is the time frame we're in right now. It's like you could either check out and I don't care, it just is what it is, and I just want to exist, and then your children are going to grow up poor. Or you can lock in and you can make them understand how to invest and give them the tools necessary and leave behind a legacy that not only takes care of themselves, but can lead from a position of power in their local community. Really would love to do this for my children. So what are you Oh, okay. There you are, K-Jam. I think K-Jam was looking for the Discover. Yeah, K-Jam Discover's on Arena now as well, bro. I started it up this morning. It's going swimmingly. We got 220 people in the Arena show right now. All of you in the Arena, stop what you're doing and share the show out. Let's make this the biggest show, maybe the biggest show ever. You got just under 300 here on YouTube. If you guys could do the same, help me grow. I ain't giving up on you. Don't give up on me. Now we got to look at some of the warning signals that I do feel in my heart for what DeFi crypto projects could be facing over the next few weeks, few months. There's a lot of hopes and dreams that this market regulation is going to be that golden ticket where we just move up into the right. And largely, I feel like if they can come up with logical market regulation, then yeah, things can really, really pump. There's some bearish takes that have come out of Charles Hoskinson. We've covered these previously on Discover Crypto, but he's went on Wolf of All Streets as well. And we got to take a look at and readdress this. So Hoskinson says, I don't think Clarity Act will pass this quarter. If it does pass this quarter, David Sachs should resign. He has failed us as an industry. Price going up? No. Adoption going up? No. Do we have certainty and a strong foundational set to build on? He also thinks no. Charles Hoskinson, very, very bearish on what's going on. And again, if he says if the Clarity Act doesn't pass this quarter, then I think David Sachs should resign. He has utterly failed the industry. Coinbase is signaling some warnings here. Coinbase has threatened to withdraw support for the Clarity Act if it restricts stablecoin rewards beyond disclosure requirements per Bloomberg. What are we talking about here? In aggregate, this new adoption phase that we're in crypto, what we're running into is the problem of the free, open, no KYC, true decentralized finance that was originally developed that helped create this budding world where you could earn great yield on your holdings and get involved with systems that can increase your value over time through network activity and involvement. They stand the potential of being forced to KYC. These stand the potential of decentralized exchanges and DeFi protocols having to require KYC and meet AML, anti-money laundering requirements for the United States to get that use case within the country. This is a very bad thing. And really, we're seeing even more weirdness come out of this conversation with this. It's from Hayden Adams. He's behind Uniswap, one of the pioneer protocols behind DeFi here in crypto. It says a group named Investors for Transparency are running public ads and lobbying to kill DeFi, the most transparent financial system on earth. Ironic, but unsurprising, their site does not disclose who funds them. Deserves a Prometheum-style deep dive by the crypto industry. Now, let's dissect what he said a little bit. Most transparent financial system on earth. There is the portion of all transactions being on chain, all transactions being able to be looked up. But as things sit right now, KYC isn't required in aggregate, right? If the language of the Clarity Act goes through right now, these protocols and decentralized exchanges will be required to KYC, and this will really, really stifle the industry, in my opinion. Yeah, exactly. Some exchanges limit what you can withdraw without KYC. We need to KYC those oil tankers, Drew. Oh, God. Oh, the oil tankers thing is crazy. I think we're up to like 8 or 9 oil tankers seized by the United States by now. But let's read a little bit more into this and I'll get your guys' thoughts. So Eleanor Tourette came out and just highlighted this, a new advocacy group, Investors for Transparency, running primetime ads on Fox News, urging viewers to oppose DeFi provisions in the upcoming crypto market structure bill, just a week before senators are due to cast their votes on relevant committees next week. The treatment of DeFi has been one of the most hotly contested components of the bill among lawmakers, TradFi, and the crypto industry itself. It's unclear where the language on it stands now, but it should become clear next week when the Senate Banking Committee releases its portion of the bill ahead of Thursday's markup. In my opinion, if I was just to aggregate what's going on right now, the banking industry has politicians in its pocket. The banking industry is pushing for these KYC and these anti-AML movements against DeFi and crypto so as to kill off a potential major competitor to the banking industry before it ever sees the light of day on a flatline regulatory landscape. This is a movement in the dark from banks and their lobbying efforts to our politicians who are bought off to stop the innovation that crypto can provide to the financial system in aggregate. We need to reach out. We need to make our voices heard about this, because this isn't some senators. It's like, oh, I don't know what needs to go on. We need to make sure we know everybody. This is a concerted effort from the banking industry and their hundreds of billions of dollars in lobbying that they've paid into these bought and paid for actors, these senators and congressmen. to stop the release and the freedom of finance from actually hitting the American economy. This needs to be called out. And yes, I could go on a bloodthirsty, spit-filled rant about this, but it's up to us, you guys. Like, we can't expect these politicians to have our best interest. What their interest is who's paying their paychecks in the dark. And it's been the banking industry. Now, the idea that we could have a open and transparent realm of finance and true DeFi, no KYC, we deserve that. Absolutely. They know everything about you and I. These organizations, the Facebook, you name it, all the private organizations, Palantir, think about how much these major organizations know about you and I, and we know basically nothing about what they're doing in the background. This needs to change. It used to be the opposite of this. We have a right, a fundamental right to privacy. Now, a coin that is actually having fun with this, kind of battle that's going on between the United States politicians and morals is Monero. Monero is doing very, very well. It is a privacy token. I do want to go check out Zcash. DZ got deported. DZ did not get deported. Jesus Christ, HCC. Oh, my Lord. So Monero is at extreme all-time highs. It's at $603 right now. Monero stands to absorb some of this action, but some of the projects that are going to be in the, say, the sights of pain, the first and foremost that's on my mind is Uniswap, right? Uniswap's at $5.35 right now. The all-time graph, very blue ball, but it is holding this general channel bottom at about $5. Uniswap is at a very, very important level because below this, which is great to see. Aerodrome would likely have a haircut if we fail to come to a concise movement and a concise agreement within the United States to allow non-KYC on crypto and DeFi. Aerodrome could have some pain, but the thing about Aero that I think is going to bolster it up a little bit more than Uniswap is Aero I've already known and have expected it to be a pillar within the base ecosystem and kind of Coinbase's preference zone, right? So Coinbase's preference zone, massive institutions, they like KYC. They like to know everyone going in and out. They like those things. So Aerodrome and Morpho, kind of like the base ecosystem, it's still my theory that it's going to be a playground for institutions, not the freedom fighters, the freedom lovers, the DeFi degens, the true crypto ethos people. It's not a place for them. It's a place for the new institutions to move into, have some fun on. I do want to check out how Morpho's price is doing in light of all of this battling going on Capitol Hill about DeFi, because Morpho is this second largest lending protocol in crypto. It's up on about 5% on the week. It's actually very, very flat over the past few days here, which is quite interesting. So you know what? Let's go a little bit deeper into how these DeFi protocols are doing. Let's go a little bit deeper into how these DeFi protocols are doing. And thank you very much for all the support and the tips. People are sending over AVAX. And who is this? Lace Vale. Thank you for tipping us some Avalanche. Appreciate you on the arena. All the people on there, they're tipping all kinds of Topia, you're all these weird tokens. Shout out to, I appreciate that. You never know. You never know. Let's go look at DeFi Llama. Let's dig a little bit deeper into how healthy these DeFi protocols are looking right now, because there's a lot of mudslinging. There's a lot of poop slinging. It's like a monkey fest over on Capitol Hill. Let's take a look. So generally, the TVL in DeFi is strong up and to the right, right? Like this chart does not worry me. I feel like DeFi is going to continue to grow. Let's go check out Aave first and foremost. It's the king of lending. It's the king of lending. Even with all the internal debates and debacles within the DAO, it's actually looking pretty decent in terms of total value locked. Now, price-wise, how is Aave holding up? Because I remember we had a big pullback last week. Let's check it out here. We're down 2% on the day, about $166 on the year. Yeah, a lot of these altcoins are looking very similar. You notice this. These support zones that they developed in, April 25 on Aave here are being respected. We are seeing a momentary kind of bounce in defense zone. But there's another project that is slated to do quite well. CryptoFace had a great eye for this one. This is Pendle. Now, on the blockchain basement, we were bullish. Yes, below $1, even in the 10-cent, 20-cent range on Pendle. Johnny, my old researcher, he talked to me about this thing when we were in this, it's absolutely insane the time frame that Johnny was all about this. Now seeing Pendle defend itself at that $2 mark once again, this actually is a kind of a stretched out version of what I see also on Solana, right? Solana, if you look at it from a larger perspective, Solana is setting up that same, a lot of these altcoins are bouncing hard off of these sell-off zones. So as things sit right now, we're feeling pretty good in the altcoin sector, but we do have to be aware that there might be a massive, massive battle about this no KYC allowance in DeFi that hits the United States regulators' heads. It's already there. The banks don't want it to happen. That's the hurdles that we have to overtake, right? That is absolutely the hurdle that we have to overtake here in crypto. Now, it's up to us, as I said, as I'm looking at the charts, I want to reiterate this. It is up to us. These people are elected to represent us, not fucking banks. So if you can, make your contact. Get a hold of your local congressman, your local senator, and let them know about how you feel they should handle crypto assets in the United States. You elected them, right? They should be representing you, not the banks. Make your voices heard. Now, on Bitcoin dominance, let's see here. Did I watch Bluey yet? I was thinking about watching Bluey. I almost had time to do it. But I didn't, I didn't have time to do it. Honestly, like, to be completely transparent with you guys, I spent the weekend remodeling my house. Not remodeling, but finishing. I used to run a painting and finishing business, and right now I'm in the move of selling the house. And good news, the market for housing is starting to kick over, at least where I'm at, right? I'm not in dead center Atlanta. I'm on the outskirts. I'm kind of like the nicer wooded areas. But it's still definitely a redneck area. And wait a minute, Bluey is a healer. So mortgages, the interest rate on mortgages have come down below 6%. For the first time in a long time, we're starting to see some activity in the sales of houses. Very, very good thing to see. Oh God, so he's a blue healer, huh? And that's it. So Bluey's a blue healer, and then the other dogs on there are like the red healers. Okay. Wouldn't KYC combat corruption? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It would not stop it at all. I really, really doubt KYC will have any sort of helpful impact in stopping corruption. Like corruption, laundering, all those things will happen regardless. Moonwell, should we take a look at Moonwell as well? All right. Well, let's look at Bitcoin dominance first, and then I'll take a look at Moonwell. I got out of Moonwell a while ago. I think really lost its support. I got in at like 5 cents and got out at 3 cents. So we'll see how bad that chart. Maybe it's at 10 cents and I missed out. We'll find out. As far as Bitcoin dominance, we are still barely within that right shoulder, very, very barely within that right shoulder on my hopeful romantic idea of an alt season of some sort happening this year. We're on our way down there. As you notice, Bitcoin falls, but Ethereum is defending 3,000 very viciously. And where I think that this plays out to is around 50%, right? By all means, we could get denied and we could go and live the world of pain in 2026. But guess what? I'm not going to be pained because I have a quant in the Discord that helps me make a bunch of tether. When my heart says up and the quant says down, I just listen and I make more tether, and then I buy cheaper crypto. So it's working out. It's a relationship I love. Bullish for DeFi if it scares the banks. Absolutely. And that's why we know that we're on to something world changing if the banks are so afraid of it. Because banks aren't afraid of much, right? Banks are not afraid of much. But the idea of an open network of finance where people can go get more yield on their money as it sits than the banks can even come close to offering is a massive, massive competitive edge that crypto has over the current financial system. These are the baselines of why crypto is so disruptive that I just laid out there. And honestly, I got to give myself some credit. That was pretty focused there. So Shout out to I sent over $49 in arena tokens. We're staking all arena. All arena sent in is being staked, you know. I definitely want to see the arena thrive and not just survive, but thrive. I want to see the arena thrive. Now, check out the overall landscape of altcoins and see what we're looking at. Yeah, we're coming. The bank should be scared. That's right, baby. Um, when you're done adulting, catch some bluey for healing. Okay. So we're at $91,700 on Bitcoin. I already covered kind of the daily movement, the weekly movement of Bitcoin. XMR is the big winner of today. Litecoin on the pullback here. One of the deeper pullbacks, Polygon, Athena, deeper pullbacks as well. In general, though, things are a mixed bag. Solana being up, Ethereum being down, BNB up, Bitcoin up. I mean, things are not looking too scary for me. I'm not in the mindset where everything's going into hell in a handbasket. Where it has gone into a hell in a handbasket is indeed Iran. I saw that as well. Who said that? Valdrin. I think I have that chart actually. Let's go look here. Oh my God. All right. So this is the Iranian Real. Now, it doesn't even show the candle, but basically, look at this scam ass currency valuation. You can't believe a damn thing that comes out of Iran, honestly. Look at this chart. This is what happens when you have a system just completely built on crime. It's down 96% on the week. So the Iranian currency not doing well and I covered this on the blockchain basement. Iran's probably going to be pretty short. Pretty soon, we're going to be looking at something in Iran. There's Mr. What's this? Your browser has lost connection. Give me a 1 in chat if you can still hear me. Give me a 1 in chat if you can still hear me. I'm getting some weird message on the old computer here. You know, check link charts. Yeah, we should check link chart. Absolutely. Let's get in the altcoin sector. Let's go deeper into the altcoin sector. All right, ones. All right, we're working. So Ethereum has scaled so hard and reduced gas fees so much, so this guy has no reason to use layer 2s anymore. Vito Rivabella. Well done, Ethereum. And honestly, like I am sending raw dog in Ethereum. The transactional costs are very, very low, and something has gone right fixing those insane. For anyone, like honestly, we haven't had any sort of altcoin season, so there's no real way to see how Ethereum will operate if we see the influx that we did like last cycle. But the transactional costs right now are extremely low on Ethereum proper. Yeah, S&P 500 broke another all-time high. Unbelievable. I thought it's just, it's either it keeps going all-time highs or the world economies fall apart. that's kind of the situation at hand here. I'm going to, oh yeah. All right. So that's kind of the situation with the S&P 500, the US dollar. Meme season stole alt season. What meme season did is create 25 million tokens that don't ever need to exist, and we'll never see all-time highs or any sort of fun again. And for anyone that, Laserface is their last cycle. $500 fees on Ethereum transactions were not fun. But now these fees have absolutely cratered. The use case of Ethereum, the usability of Ethereum at least, is growing. And as I showed with the general DeFi ecosystem, like this is not a graph that tells me it's going to zero. It doesn't. It flat out doesn't. Anyone wants to sit there and say it does is retarded. So now let's keep going. Let's keep going here. I got a good chat. I got a good chat today. I like checking you guys out. I'm checking you out. All right. K-Jam put you in the duck races. Oh, Lord. Do I got to get you in the duck race? We got to do those on the blockchain basement, though, K-Jam. Look, those are on the blockchain basement. We gave away, I think it was $250 last Friday on our duck race. We raced ducks on the blockchain basement. We give away money for the winners. Now, let's check out Polymarket. Look at this. Remember when people said Polymarket would die after the election? Well, here's the election, right? And there's all that government interest in shutting down Polymarket because it interfered with the mainstream media's polls and their numbers, and it showed that they were absolutely wrong and lying to you. And then Polymarket ended up being the correct source of information for that. Well, Polymarket is absolutely exploding in its trade count. This is Polymarket's trade count, the graph of that and the activity there within on Polymarket, absolutely going ballistic. Now, people are betting on, will America absorb Greenland, or how soon till Iran, or snow Mexico, when snow Mexico, right? You can really, I am floored by how Polymarket has opened up the trading on basically everything in life. Basically everything in life can be traded on. I'm about it. I don't hate it at all. That would make a sweet holster. Mike, yeah, I absolutely love this one. It's a good one. Now let's keep going here. The U.S. is nearing a trade deal with Taiwan. Let's read into this. Taiwan could cut tariffs and secure major new investments of Taiwan semiconductor manufacturing in the United States. Now, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing has a plant in, I believe, Arizona. The focus of that plant is wafers. Some of the data from, I think, about 4 or 5 months ago was that wafers were 10% more expensive to produce at the U.S. plant rather than the Taiwanese plant, but 10% of an increase in cost for having a product made in-house in the United States and easily and directly accessible. It's a price we're probably willing to pay in the long term if things push comes to shove with China. Under the agreement, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing would agree to build at least 5 more Arizona semiconductor facilities. This would reduce the U.S. tariffs on Taiwan to 15% per the New York Times. That's absolutely insane. Bad side when everyone's gambling. Everyone's always gambling. It's remember party poker? We were kings. We had party poker. George W. Bush. I think Bush stopped it or something. That was my quick up and come. My dad came downstairs. I was like probably, I'm not going to say how old I was, but he came downstairs and the basement was just a complete gym. It was like a boxing gym in one side and then weightlifting. And he's like, where the did you get all this stuff from, son? I was like, listen, man, I saw you and I figured out how to play poker. My dad was a very good poker player. Party poker was out. I sent it. I won. It's great. Life is a gamble. Driving to work is a gamble. Think about that. All right, now. Oh, you never heard of party poker? Dude, party poker was good. Now, after the trade deal highlight, we got to take a look at Iran. This is the Iranian currency and what is this guy, the supreme leader? What do they call him? Ayatollah? The Ayatollah? Is that this guy's name? Honestly, the whole Iran situation is pretty simple. 3-letter agency laying out the groundwork for regime change for probably 2 decades. The response from the Ayatollah, Iran, probably going to be pretty lackluster. And there is no concerted effort, no team within BRICS. It is China and Russia as their war dog, right? Russia's running out of juice. But the thing about this situation that, in my opinion, is the reason why it's happening is because a lot of the materials that Putin is using, military equipment in Ukraine, actually is coming from Iran, right? So if they see a massive regime change and let's say a Western friendly leader come in, so the color revolution gets done, those materials are going to stop. This is a big, big deal. Now, in this week, not only with the Iranian upheaval, but with Maduro, Nike has been at the forefront of all this. Look at this. Huge swoosh on the Nike shoes right there. Almost like it was placed. Almost like it was paid for, right? And then you got Maduro rocking the Nike in his sweatpants. They're selling out of this outfit. Nike is absolutely selling out of this outfit. I kind of want one. Would you rock the Maduro sweatpant outfit? I want to know from you. Would you have the unmitigated gall to walk around the United States in the outfit that President Maduro was captured with? I want to know. Let me know. And with all the haze of the chaos and everything going on right now, gold and silver are going parabolic. It's not a 9. K-Jam, it's not a 9. Guess the caliper, actually. Guess the caliper. And anyone that knows, don't give it away. Okay, guess the caliper I'll give you a shout out. Now, gold has soared to $4,600 an ounce for the first time in history. Silver hit $85 an ounce. And this is the important thing. Physical silver hit over $100 an ounce. I was looking at our silver spoons and I was like, shouldn't be eating on those anymore. The way this is going, this is absolutely crazy. I got some old school silver spoons, at home. God, sufficient enough. You're smart. Yeah. It's the 10. It's the 10. 6, 7. Okay, Deucey. You know what?
You are banned!
Unbelievable. I have to deal with that enough with my children at home. Even my daughter. She's like 4 years old. I ask her what she wants to eat. She's like 6, 7. Oh my Lord. I can't believe it. I can't believe children. They're adorable though. Oh, adorable. Now let's keep looking at it. And yeah, this is the vibe, right? For crypto, watching silver. Crypto holders looking at silver go to triple digits. I'm happy for you. Right. No, but you earnestly should be happy for another asset, and hopefully you hold a little bit of silver, right? Another asset is making a move, right? Don't be a hater that's just mad at another asset going absolutely ballistic. That is a low frequency mindset and a low frequency mode of operation to be in, bruh. You need to think positive. And if your investment hasn't played out over the next 10 years, go a different direction. Hold what you got. Maybe it'll come back. Hopefully you're doing enough research where you're not YOLOing into Hex at all-time highs and then waiting for that to come back. But I think in general, we have a pretty smart chat. Lock in, don't hate other assets. That's right. Lock in, don't hate any other assets. Everyone's hitting up Matt in the chat in the arena. I was on with Matt in the morning. Yeah, look at it. DeFi has been stacking silver for a long time. 10 with the 3-round bears. That'd be the move. That would be the move. That's absolutely sick. You take on like 30 bears. All right, let's keep going. Trump has said that the U.S. will have to pay back trillions of dollars if the Supreme Court rules that his tariffs are illegal. It would be a complete mess. The actual numbers that we have to pay back if, for any reason, the Supreme Court were to rule against the United States of America on tariffs would be many hundreds of billions of dollars. And that doesn't include the amount of payback that countries and companies would require for their investments they are making to build plants, factories, equipment for the purpose of being able to avoid the payment on said tariffs. That's a key underlying factor here. Now, when these investments are added, we're talking about trillions of dollars. It'd be a complete mess. Trump used the tariffs to force these companies to come back, not to force random companies across the world to come into America. We had companies leave our country to go to another country, produce the same product, pay the people less, and sell it for more money to us, back to us, Americans. That's a scam. Scam. And it's been undone to a degree, but if we undo this and show this massive weakness from the United States in our internal discourse, Supreme Court says that we can't even tariff and protect our borders in terms of trade, we are, there is no way else around it. Walked into the kickboxing supply shop, they're listed, no way. What? Kickbox, yeah, baby. Absolutely. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. If you're able to, I highly suggest doing boxing or some sort of combat sport. It keeps you fresh. Keeps you fresh, change it up a little bit from the weightlifting, show those gigantic people in there that, you know what, you might be gigantic, but I'm much quicker and I can lift as much as you. So it's fun. I highly suggest it. Oh, Trust Coin. What up, man? All right. Now I saw some news over the weekend, right around like Friday. And I think that this is an interesting concept to talk about. The Kobe letter put this out about Trump's 10% credit card rate cap. Capital One stocks fell 7%. Affirm 5%. American Express 4%. Citigroup down 3%. MasterCard down 3%. Visa down 3%. U.S. Bank Corp down 3%. And JP Morgan down 2%. Wells Fargo down 2%. And Bank of America down 1%. They erased $100 billion of market cap on the news very, very quickly. But we may as well go snoop around and see if the biggest loser has regained its quitting. Let's go check out Capital One to see if they're back to business as usual. So it is COF, ticker on TradingView. Let's just raw dog this together, right? Let's just raw dog it together. Not that way. Don't be weird about it. Don't be weird. All right. Here we go. Looks like it's come back. And honestly, dude, look, like we say that it's like a massive pullback. These kind of headlines and saying that some sort of systemic change and systemic crash is coming because of this, these things were absolutely these look like meme coins. Let's go to the monthly. God, look at this. It's crashing. Like if you bought like the perfect peak of 256, maybe you're down by a little bit, right? Maybe you're down by a little bit. Honestly, like the idea of capping interest rates gonna be a hard sell, right? Because you're gonna have a free market with less parameters, and you're still gonna have higher interest rates on more predatory loans. In credit, I would say just be careful, right? Credit is something like Kiyosaki's like more debt the better, more debt the better. Listen, it's the bank's problem if you owe them $100 million. It's your problem if you owe them under $1 million. They will gut you. They'll figure things out, and you're part of the club if you're in the 100 million plus zone. But for the average person, most of the people watching this, I really, really doubt anyone's dealing with that kind of money. They're not your friend. And honestly, that's another thing of how threatening crypto is to the existing infrastructure, is because you can go get loans and do lending in crypto as well, right? So that's why the consortium of these banks do not want crypto to be released from its cage, because then people realize, wait a minute, I can buy a Bitcoin that's got a great outlook over the next 10 or 20 years to hit $1 million plus. I can take a loan against it, just pay the interest and take the money out of the system. It sounds great, right? It's almost like Sailor on steroids, and this is something that the system does not want to see. It's terrified of it. Teach kids about budgeting and finance in school? Oh, heck no. I think they absolutely should. Should schools teach budgeting and finance and taxes? Shouldn't schools teach about what taxes are, right? Instead of just flopping the population like a fish out of water into existence as an adult, and they just get ripped apart by taxes, start crying. They take 30%. It's because they hate you. You got to teach them early. All right. I'm in rare form today. Okay, I'm in rare form. Take a look at this. See, Chad agrees. Chad agrees. Now, Denmark and Greenland officials to meet with the United States in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday. Man. So Denmark owns Greenland, right? It's got rights to Greenland. We might actually see the great American Western Hemisphere formed in our lifetime. We might actually see it. Now, if we do see midterm elections go against Trump, then he's going to have a lot less teeth, right? But he is acting as a man unhinged, a man on a mission, a man at the end of his life, ready to make America great again. And he's doing everything he can. If you could just stop kissing the wall. We played a love letter for Trump this morning. Please, for the love of God. But other than that, there's a lot of things that he's done that I am a major fan of. I have much more good than bad that I've seen out of the Trump administration personally from what I hope to get. Schools are terrible at everything. Yeah, they need to. I agree with that, Boogaloo Bum. I agree. That's what Ducey says. Grade 11 math class is the reason I started being curious about investing long term, which ultimately is the reason why you're here. Absolutely love it, Ducey. Absolutely love it. Now, let's keep moving on to the other stories here. We have a 53% chance that Jerome Powell is charged with a federal crime on Kalshi betting market as well. Looking at the situation, a very, very split crowd on whether Jerome Powell's actually going to be charged. But I want to know from you. Put down in the comments section, yes, Jerome Powell is in for Pound Town, or no, this is business as usual and usual political theater that they're just keeping us distracted with as we're doing regime changes across the planet and consolidating resources for half of the earth. Let me know down in the comments what you think's actually going on right now. And I will say, obviously, the Fraud been found in Minnesota. That's aggravating. Billions of dollars of tax fraud. Yes, aggravating, but do not fall down the rabbit hole of being hyper focused on that situation. That is a psyop. That is a distraction. Do not be distracted from what's actually happening. And honestly, what happened to this story? Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency, confirmed that U.S. aid gave Chelsea Clinton $82 million for the Clinton Global Initiative. $3 million of that was spent on her wedding. $3 million on a wedding and $11 million on a mansion. Oh my God. You know, sometimes, and I try to keep it crypto only. I try, but they keep dragging me back in. There's so many reasons why I love what Bitcoin is. It's yes, price action, and I trade, obviously. And if you want to trade more, get in our Discord. We got a quant, he's killing it, right? But the idea of having power behind custody of my money, Bitcoin is money, in my opinion. The power to hold my own crypto on a cold storage device is really what got me into crypto. It's about power. It's never been about money for me. It's about power. It just seems to be that it's becoming so powerful that now we're threatening the banking infrastructure, and I'm here for it. Now, what we see in JP Morgan and Fed rate cut outlooks. JP Morgan no longer expects a Federal Reserve rate cut, predicts hikes will start in 2027, saying that there's going to be massive blue balls on interest rates coming down, given the political theater that's going on within the Federal Reserve. But here's something else going on within the Federal Reserve, is the New York Fed received 0 bids at the overnight repo operation. These are repossessed treasuries that nobody wants because the dollar, the debt behind it, is turning into garbage, and there is no legitimacy with the pathetic yield that you earn on these yields because inflation is outpacing them by a long shot. And the inflation numbers that we get right now, we broke below 2%, but we only are accounting for housing at the level of Section 8 housing. We don't account for, fuel, right? Things of that nature. It's aggravating to the point where, I could go on a foamy mouth rant about it. I don't need to, because the inflation data that you're looking at right now and that they celebrate on MSNBC and CNN and all those other lying media stations, they know that the data is arbitrage. They know that they're lying through their teeth and gaslighting you, because me, lower class, middle class, just dads trying to take care of 4 kids and a wife and a bunch of dogs and chickens, I feel the pressure because I'm providing the provisions for the family. I know exactly how much increase has been going on. Thanks for more tips in the arena. You guys are absolutely awesome. All right, let's keep moving here. So I'm going to go look back into the crypto market here. I'm going to check out the crypto market. Let's check out Chainlink. How are we doing on Chainlink? So we're at $13.15 right now. Chainlink is trying to defend this $13 zone pretty viciously. For me, I'm not getting too caught up in the Chainlink price right now, you guys. I got to be honest with you. I'm not. I see green dots on altcoins. I see the dominance getting ready to roll over in this head and shoulders pattern on Bitcoin dominance. And really, I think that the more important thing outside of it, Chainlink graph in particular, would be to look at Ethereum in aggregate to see if Ethereum is going to bounce out of our gift from God buy zone that I got to extend now, because it did absolutely hit $2,800, bounced off it so far at $3,100. So this ended up playing out very, very nicely. But let's look at what the overall money flow on Ethereum looks like. So again, this is a very similar structure to the Bitcoin money flow, where if a fake out to the downside is trying to swoop back up. But let's go to the weekly to see what things are looking like here. Very back and forth, but honestly, much more recent green dot. Honestly, I'm not afraid of these charts, guys. I'm not going to sit here and feel like, for sure it's going down. If we're printing green dots, prices being defended, as we have China threatening Nvidia and Taiwan with blockades. We have the United States doing a special operations and taking the president of Venezuela in the middle of the night and parading him through New York City, and I'm supposed to be bearish right now? I say nay. I say nay. This is a chaos zone. Honestly, this is a chaos zone. And what I think about this is that, for Chainlink and the thesis behind it, as long as I don't see Google come out with its own oracle, or a already built-in infrastructural part of the internet as we know it come out with its own oracle, Chainlink is systemically important for the existence and the expansion of crypto. The thesis has not changed. So I'm happy holding my Chainlink. And, my zone to add Chainlink, I guess I'll talk about that, because we do have potential for some headwinds, right? It's not all up and to the right and strippers and breeders forever. So let's take a look. We got this highlighted is $9.50. The top end of the range of the channel that I previously had added to my position on Chainlink, about $5. I would expect, if we see something nasty come and the market continues to roll down, basically a strong defense point at $9.70, give or take. So this is the point where I'm willing to buy more Chainlink, but keep in mind, I've been in this asset forever. I'm only interested in holding big chunks of systemically important cryptos right now, and crypto projects that make good revenue. I'm not about, spreading myself so thin that the wins are small, even if the percentage gains are big. 4 kids, I'm 24. I take that as a compliment. Someone thinks I'm 24 years old. How old do you think I am in the chat? And don't say something that's weird or you'll get banned. How old do you think I am in the chat? I want to know how old you guys think I am. 24. Wow. Unbelievable. I mean, this is great. Equilibrium, private oracle. 36. All right, you're pretty damn close. 19. Steve-O, you just want to get banned. 38. See, you guys have seen it. 38, 37. Yes, I'm 30. I think I'm 37. I think I'm 37. I don't even know. Time comes at you quick. When you got kids, I'm telling you, time happens fast. But I'm 37. So yes, I have 4 children. And really, in the time frame that we're at right now, I'm happy to stack. The kids are excited with their big chunks of Bitcoin. I'm excited. It's a fun time to teach them how to hold their own crypto on their old cold storage device. And if you are out there actively trading with me and DZ and everyone else in our trading Discord, I do implore you, we got to feed the quant. Trade with us on 2Bit. They got great bonuses and matches for incoming Tether, as well as Blowfin. We're getting after it. I'm making more Tether as we move through. And really where we're sitting right now, you guys, is the chance for major FUD to snap us down to these ultimate buy zones. I'm not saying that that's not a possibility, but Bitcoin in general, even in the midst of all of that bearishness we had last week, the things that happened last week were what gave me the hope that I was going to get Bitcoin at a price of production level. Price of production level of Bitcoin's right at about $74,000. And I'll just put that line right there. Previous all-time highs, incidentally. I was looking for the NVIDIA China news to be able to break us down, but instead, we're just continuing on up in this ascending triangle zone. I'm going to treat 94.5 as the resistance until proven otherwise. And I'm risking it for the biscuit. I'm layering into this system. I really feel like people that are checking out right now are going to wake up in 10 years and absolutely kick themselves in the ball sack for not looking at the most disruptive asset class to ever hit the market since the invention of the pen, since the invention of literal currency. Now we can send value from one location to the next in a digital economy and a global economy that has moved online. We now have unlocked the power. We're entering the final hurdles with this massive DeFi battle, this KYC battle happening in the United States. And I think where we're at right now, I'm not getting too spread out. I will cheer for small market cap projects as they pump. I love it. I love seeing small market cap pump. I'm not going to get too spread thin on these things that don't prove provable revenue. That's where I'm at. I'm not going to get my exposure too deep, right? Really appreciate you guys on YouTube, on Spotify, on X, on the Arena, for all of the support that you guys support onto our channels over the past few years. I wake up every day invigorated to bring you all of the most relevant crypto news. And really today, I condensed all of this information into a clear, concerted message. Banks view DeFi as the enemy. Banks view DeFi as something that can tangibly compete and usurp their power that they've held for hundreds, not thousands of years. We can undo this as a human collective. Human collective consciousness is real. Work it into existence. Make it happen. Share the stream. Like the stream. Stay focused. And I'll see you.
We just wanted to take a quick second to shout out our sponsor, Arculus. They are a cold storage hardware wallet, helps you secure all of your digital assets for the future. Just tap this thing to the back of your phone and boom, you're in. We wouldn't be able to do this without them, but also wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, the Disco fam. You've supported us a lot over the years. If you want to support the channel now, just use the code DC20. It gets you 20% off this card. It's the #1 way you can support this channel going forward. Thank you for your support. We'll see you at the top.